We begin tonight with claims by the Nigerian Army that troops of Sector 3 Operation Lafia Dole has repelled an attack launched by Boko Haram terrorists on their positions in Gudumbali, the headquarters of Gudumbali local government area of Borno State. A statement from the Director Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Texas Chuku, says the insurgents invaded the town on Friday to extort and terrorize the residents as well as attack the military base. The Chief of Defense and other service chiefs today met at the headquarters of Operation Lafia Dole Theatre Command in Maiduguri to assess the situation. Meanwhile, residents of the community are finding their way to the state capital for refuge. It's a bit of politics now. The All Progressives Congress National Chairman, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, has expressed doubt about the participation of his party or its candidates in alleged vote buying in the Ekiti governorship election held in June this year. Mr. Oshiomhole told Channels Television's Ladia Keridoluwale on our special political program, Roadmap 2019, that he was well aware of the financial position of the Ekiti APC candidate, now Governor-elect Dr. Kayode Fayemi, in the run-up to the election. He instead indicated that it was the ruling PDP in Ekiti State that had access to such resources.
I was not in Ekiti, so I can't claim to be a witness to vote buying, and I did not participate in any decision to vote money to buy votes in Ekiti. And I have my doubt as to if votes were to be bought and sold, whether Fayemi, Mr. Fayemi, who no one can claim that Fayemi is a rich man. I know he was struggling to find money to mobilize and to sustain his campaign, that he could have such huge tons of money. I guess he's the guy who had access to Ekiti Treasury, which in this case was the PDP as then the city governor, who was so confident that he has all the resources. He even described himself as rock. If you fall on him, he will break. If he follow you, he will crush you. Now, the definitions and the particulars of this rock may well be in terms of the amount of naira that he thought was available. So I am not going to dismiss the allegation either way, just to say that I was not a party to it and I couldn't have possibly supported it. And I do not think, if you were to go into the specifics, that APC had the kind of resources order Fayemi to resort to vote buy.
For the full interview with the APC chairman, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, do watch Roadmap 2019 tomorrow, Monday, the 10th of September at 9 p.m. only on Channels Television. In the meantime, the former vice president and presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has met with the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum. According to the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Chief John Nwodo, the meeting is the first of a series of meetings which the forum plans to hold with presidential aspirants. He believes that it will result in a decision on the candidate that the forum will endorse for the 2019 presidential election.
We have been meeting for quite some time now, and we've been seized with matters of national importance affecting the health of our country. One of the programs we've decided to embark on is to talk with those who have expressed desire to lead our country and to contest for the presidency in the forthcoming elections. We wanted to rub minds with them. We wanted to know their views about the things that are of importance to us, so that by the time we finish the interaction, we would be able to assure ourselves which one of them we think has the capacity to reflect our aspirations and rejig our country and bring it to where many of our countrymen and women would like it to be. Without design, but by the sheer force of providence, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, has become the first person to meet with us. However, we have not come to a conclusion as to who to endorse for president, because we must listen to everyone So we are going to very quickly begin to listen to some of his colleagues.
Still ahead of the general elections, Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State is asking aspirants seeking to run for president to fashion out measures that will address the rising unemployment rate across the country. According to Professor Ayade, one of the fastest ways of tackling youth restiveness is to create jobs for the unemployed. He was speaking while receiving one of the PDP presidential aspirants and former governor of Sokoto State, Abubakar, who paid him a courtesy call in Calabar.
The challenge is the massive unemployment. How can a nation whose demographics shows that you have about 65% of your population under the age of 30, with over 100 universities turning out almost 1 million graduates in a year, without a corresponding provision for job creation? How can you talk of infrastructural development when the focus should be on those young idle youths with a lot of energy, with a lot of intellect, lying waste occasioned by the lack of opportunity? Until government recognize that the most immediate and urgent thing to do in this Nigeria, if we don't call for a cataclysmic salabalization of this country, we therefore must recognize that we must provide for
On his part, Mr. Bafarawa challenged his fellow aspirants for the presidential seat to travel on Nigerian roads for their campaigns instead of flying in order to appreciate the full extent of the road's decay.
When you expand roads, at least you expand business, and that is the starting business of building economy in the country. In the way and manner our roads are, more especially in the southeast, is very disheartening. So I have seen it by myself, and I'm challenging all the aspirants who are trying to rule this government, who are trying to rule the country. They should stop flying by air. Even the president, since he's looking for a second term, he should fly by road. He should go by road and see things by himself. I believe any reasonable person, a leader who has human feelings, see the roads of this country, I think is something that you put action into it to make sure that the country is being developed.
Well, let's take you now to River State, where the governor, Nyesom Wike, has urged the church to ensure that the right leaders emerge to govern the country by actively participating in the electoral process. Governor Wike made this call during an inspection of ongoing works at the site of a massive auditorium and school being built by the Salvation Ministry's base in Port Harcourt, River State. Well, the governor, who commended the 100% use of local labour, also called on clerics and their followers to contribute to the development of the country.
Must participate in what is happening. But when you have a bad leader, the decision he makes, the policies he brings out will also affect the church. So the church cannot be aloof. They must contribute and decide leaders who will move this country forward. Time has passed where you will say that, oh, we are not interested, it's left for politicians. No, we are partners. Politicians cannot continue to determine how your life will be. To say that whether you like it or not, your life will move right or left. No. So the church must contribute to seeing that politics now is not for those who say they want to run an election. No, you can say yes, you want to run an election, but we can say you are not the one that's proper to be in that position.
The All Progressives Congress in Delta State has adopted the indirect primaries options to select candidates for the 2019 general elections. After an expanded meeting at the party secretariat in Asaba, the group says it is necessary to hold indirect primaries in order to tackle issues of insecurity and the current state of the party. Well, the meeting had in attendance Senator Ovio Magege, Chief Grace Ogboru, Professor Pt.1, and other prominent leaders.
It's the All Progressives Congress APC in an expanded meeting at the party secretariat in Asaba, the Delta State capital, to decide on which way primaries will be conducted. Delegates take out time to debate the method to adopt that will enhance the party's position in the state.
My position is that we ought to find out what a broad group of people think, and we ought to go out there and get a broad group of people to determine who will be the people. So, whatever you choose to call it, I prefer direct primary.
After a keen debate, the Erue-led group of the party's state executive adopted the option of indirect primary elections.
This was the instructions given to us by NEC, an obligation we had to fulfill. It took us a while, unlike others, to gather everybody who is a member of the State Executive Council to meet here today after consultation with those who couldn't make it. And I'm glad about the position we have taken, that we go indirect for all elections in Delta State other than that of Mr. President.
The resolutions reached here may not have reflected the views of everyone, but the party needs to begin to speak with one voice in order to improve on their standing come March next year.
Well, let's switch a little bit from politics, where couples have been advised to treat each other with love and respect. This was the thrust of discussions at the 2018 edition of the University of Marriage Conference. The founder of the Rose of Sharon Glorious Ministry International, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, said that after money, misconceptions about sex is one of the reasons for marital breakdowns.
The family is the most important unit of the society in every clime, and Nigeria is not left out. Ensuring that marriage, which is the foundation of the family, remains intact is why many have defied the rain to attend the 2018 edition of the University of Marriage Conference with the theme, Let's Talk About Sex.
And it increases the peace and joy in the home. Romance is not sex.
The convener of the conference, who is also the founder of the Rose of Sharon Glorious Ministries International and vice president of FAMFA Oil Limited, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, explains.
Sex has undergone severe attacks, not only in Nigeria, not only in the African continent, but all over the world. After money comes sex. The major topics that make marriages break. Sex is God's creation and is intended for two major things: procreation and for pleasure. Double anointing.
And so what is necessary if couples must break the stereotypes and live in love with one another?
A lot of wives are actually upset with their husbands and they are enduring a lot of things. And you say, so when people say that sex is a problem in marriage, sex itself does not start in the bedroom. Sex starts with the respect you have for the person you married.
Each time I read the scripture, that no man ever yet hated his own body, but he polishes it, pommels it, takes care of it. And sometimes I see some men beating their wives. And I wonder, God in heaven will be looking at you from heaven as per, are you crazy?
As the meeting nears its end, there is word from a clergy who has been married for 50 years.
Those of us who are priests and who are pastors and who are in the business of counseling, all these things are the things that we must talk about. After all, we do counseling one-on-one.
With so much said, participants go home in the hope the lessons learned from here will open up new possibilities for individuals and national growth.
In part two, after the break, we'll be looking at the preparations ahead of the Osun State governorship elections, which is just 2 weeks away. Please stay with us.